What's up, freaks and geeks, and welcome to episode 44 of The Good, the Bad, and the Freaky. Ian, myself, and a very special friend are here in the Freakopolis Geekery comic book section, and we've got a bunch of awesome stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah, this week we're talking the Joker, Defenders, new Heroclix rules, and more.
So stick around after the jump to see our thoughts on this week's Nerd News.
So I'll be kicking it off this week with my good, some awesome updates to the rules for Heroclix coming out of WizKids. And it looks like they've pretty much simplified the wording for nearly every power on the list to make the game easier to play to newcomers and easier to see certain power synergies to veterans even. It's super exciting. They've pretty much made it so that all combat actions have been divided into three things: either a move action, a close action, or a ranged action, and that kind of speaks for itself.
Nice, yeah, this is very exciting. It's been sort of built up for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally seeing the results of that, and I think reactions are pretty positive so far.
Oh, definitely. The simplifications seem really nice, and they've also modified some certain powers that seem to be underutilized, such as leadership and support, and gave them a slight buff so that they'd be more competitive.
Yeah, so giving some buffs to some underutilized things, and then maybe nerfing some things that people thought were too powerful in the past.
Exactly. So that kind of balancing is really important to this type of game, especially as new sets come out, which Ragnarok so soon. Very exciting. Speaking of which, the new rules booklets will be in Ragnarok starter kits, but we'll still be having meetings during our Saturday HeroClix where we'll explain the new rules and make modifications to whatever sheets you have.
Very exciting. So some much needed simplification, which will benefit both veteran players and new players alike. That's really cool. I'm glad they finally got it out there and we got to see them.
Likewise.
My good this week is something a little closer to home in Rebels Volume 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a book by Brian Wood and Dark Horse, who just seems to be a perfect matchup for each other. Now, in the Geekery. So we had a chance to look at this. Volume 2 is on its way, but Volume 1 is now here in stock, and it was very exciting. It tells the story of sort of a ground-level Revolutionary War story, instead of like these sort of mythological figures like Ben Franklin and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson.
It's the troops.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
It's the people that were sort of living through it, and especially the Green Mountain Boys of Vermont.
Oh, super well known around here,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
Yeah.
We grew up sort of going to the forts and things that they either took over or the battles that took place involving them, so it definitely is super cool to see that in comic form. And I think it's a really strong entry to Brian Wood and Dark Horse's resume.
Yeah, definitely. If there's anything you can trust Brian Wood to pretty much nail, it's kind of this rural vibe, revolutionary things going on. Like, it's really cool how he manages to pull that off with certain art styles and whatnot and really evoke this area of our world.
Very much so, yeah. I'm super happy to see this because it shows that comics can be more than just superhero stories or science fiction. It enters sort of pantheon of books that are, historical fact told through comics, which is really cool, like Mouse and March. Some really awesome books, and that lands right there too. This is not something made up. Of course, the characters it's stretched a little bit and stuff, but it's telling a true story that really took place in our home hundreds of years ago. So super cool for that. I'm very excited about reading Volume 1.
That is super cool. It looks like a good buy too, like a beefy book.
Super thick, so good stuff.
Yep.
Very excited to check this out. Let's move on to our bads.
Yes. So my bad this week is some news out of Warner Brothers. They've gotten a director for their Joker origin film, Todd Phillips. So he has done The Hangover and party movies like that, which of course, I mean, maybe he's got really a knack for nailing those types of movies, but one, why does he get in on a Joker movie? Two, why does the Joker need an origin movie?
Yeah, I just can't get with that, man. I feel like every time they try and do a Joker origin, like in the original, or the Killing Joke animated movie, it just sort of falls flat. I think he works better as an enigma, so I'm not really excited for this either.
Yeah, he's kind of supposed to be like the personification of chaos, really no origin necessary. He's just there and maybe kind of like always has been.
Yeah.
And of course, as a dichotomy with Batman, like that works perfectly with his lawful side. So yeah, why do they need to make a DC origin film for this character in particular. Yes. Yeah, I suppose as far as kicking down the doors with a movie focusing on one character, the Joker is the way to go.
Yeah, I think it's for the money. I'm not crazy about it.
No.
I don't think the Joker needs an origin. I think he works best when he's playing against Batman. Batman probably won't be in this.
No, yeah, they're saying it's a dark and grounded crime movie based in Gotham in the 80s. It really just sounds kind of out of the Joker's playing field like we normally see him.
Yeah, not super stoked for that. Another money grab is our bad this week. So you guys know what video games are, right?
Yes.
You know what the Super Nintendo is?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, now they're reissuing it as the Super Nintendo Classic.
Okay.
Lots of hype going around after the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic launch of last year. This is sort of an updated version with the newest system, and yeah, there's a lot of hype for it. They're taking pre-orders now, but the pre-orders have just been a complete mess. So, some retailers launched their pre-order window late last night, around 3 a.m.
Okay.
Perfect time for scalpers to pick them up,
Yeah.
but not for the average Joe. Other people, like Walmart, let's say, for instance, started pre-orders in June, taking people's money, saying, yeah, we'll totally get you one, and then say, wait, we actually didn't want to launch our pre-order thing now, so we're not ready to fill these orders, sorry about that. And then other retailers, like Toys R Us, are saying, no, we're not taking pre-orders, just kind of show up when they get here, and hopefully you can
That's like
get your hands on one.
scalper's paradise.
Yeah, so I think all points lead to sort of just a bad launch.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it seems like every launch of these cool little systems has been completely atrocious, and I've seen so many pictures on forums of stacks of these with scalpers' names on top of them, and the pain from the comments section is, like, palpable.
Yeah, and then the other thing, of course, this happened with the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic as well. Nintendo probably doesn't make enough of these.
No, it seems so. That they should really start ramping up production on them, because it seems like such a popular idea to completely go to waste and just be jacked up in the prices online.
Yeah, the reaction was really strong to their latest classic console. This one has a lot of hype as well, but it's going to be really hard to get your hands on one, which is a bummer. If you did, awesome. I'm glad you did. But some people are having more trouble, and I think it's due to retailers and Nintendo, and that's shame on you.
Yeah, for real.
Let's move on to our freakies. My freaky this week is Defender Season 1.
Oh, no blaming you there.
Yeah, released last Friday on Netflix. It's the culmination of all 4 New York Netflix Marvel series that we've seen throughout the past couple years, and it picks up right where they left off, with Iron Fist hunting down the Hand, Daredevil retired, Jessica Jones is taking cases again, and Luke Cage is just finishing up his latest stint in prison.
Yeah.
But the Hand is still a threat to New York City, and circumstances as they are, these 4 heroes join together to take down the biggest threat that New York City has seen since the Battle of New York.
And New York City is a huge character in this as well. Like, it is really, the cinematography focused on them inside the city is so important to the show itself.
Yeah, I think that's one of the strong points, is really their use of color and cinematography to differentiate the heroes and the city on the whole. A lot of things about this I liked. There was a couple things I wasn't crazy about, but it's, I overall, enjoyable series, I think. For one, the 8-episode season.
That's nice. That is a good choice on their part, for sure.
I've been saying this for a while with the individual series, like 13 feels a little too long, there's a little too much filler. With 8, you're able to pretty much succinctly tell the story that you set out to do.
Yep, get the guys together, establish who the bad guy is, and go beat him up.
Exactly, it's pretty much that simple. The main and supporting cast I really enjoy, even Finn Jones, who I know gets a lot of flack on the internet. I think he's a fine actor. I think the writers kind of give him a hard time.
Yeah, every time you have to say, I'm the immortal Iron Fist, like, how many times can you really sell that?
It's not Finn Jones improvising that, so
yeah.
I kind of, blame the writers a little bit for that. But, if that's the biggest complaint about his character, I think that's probably okay. There's a couple impactful deaths, not to spoil too much, but it does keep the show moving and show that the stakes are high.
Oh, yeah.
And some answers to what the Hand has been up to in New York City do abound, so you're able to figure out where they've been leading to these past individual series. So.
That's good, because it really seemed like they were kicking around too many ideas, like, in the shadows there for you to get a grasp on it.
Yeah, it's finally resolved a bit, and that's very exciting to see, as well as what happens to Elektra. Of course, we see what happens to her since season 2 of Daredevil, and we get a nice little teaser of the Punisher at the end of the season.
He's getting his own show soon.
Yeah,
so,
which is now going around the internet, and he's getting his own show this fall, so very exciting. Overall, I totally enjoyed it. I think pretty much everybody that has watched any of the individual series should check it out. There's not too many holes if you haven't seen them all, so good place to go if you're looking for something to binge real quick.
Very cool. Yeah, I digged it a lot as well. So my freaky this week, I woke up to an interesting picture from Elon Musk of his new spacesuit that he has designed, and it was in fact him in the spacesuit, and it really gives off some Mass Effect vibes. And it's funny because I sat there thinking while looking at the picture, and I thought, a lot of this technology has gone really crazy in the past few years. We have rockets landing themselves and whatnot. But the classic, 60s spacesuit, 60s, 70s spacesuit with the huge visor is still totally in use and hasn't really been updated, it seems, at least not outwardly. This thing looked really ergonomic and
slick.
Yeah, slick and clean and with a really tight visor and stuff. It was very cool looking.
It's like the iPhone of
You're
space
right, yeah.
suits.
So maybe he's just trying to sell it on the idea of, this is sci-fi and we can make it look really cool, but it's probably also very functional as well, and I like this kind of progression in that technology.
That was going to be my question too, is this just a mock-up, or is it a mock-up of something that will be functional, or is it actually, could he go up in space right now?
Right.
Either way, he's got some great engineers, obviously.
Oh, yes.
So hopefully they can move forward with this and set up among the stars.
Yeah, that's their whole goal. So I don't know. I really like that news, and I like the style of it, and I'm glad that Elon Musk shared it with us.
Good stuff. Yeah, so lots of cool things in comics and movies and science fiction this week.
Soon, science reality.
Yes. But that'll do it for this week's The Good, the Bad, and the Freaky. Thank you guys so much. If you could, or you feel like it, like, share, subscribe, comment, mail it to your mom. It does so much to help us keep the Freakopolis Geekery going and supplying you with all your favorite stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.